Hi friends, this is Narmata from Cognitive System AIDS from Katpagam Academy of Higher Education. In last lecture series, we have seen about the concept of file systems in DBMS, and today's lecture series we have to continue with the concept of key management system in DBMS. So what is the key? A key is a main important role in database concept. The database concept, it includes variety of data in a container. So how we are opening the table, how we are segregating the tables, how we are sending and receiving the data from the table means we can open the key. So there is a different kind of keys are available in DBMS concept. So previous concept we have to see the creating table. So inside of the table we can declare the keys. So what are all the keys are available in DBMS? How we are using the keys in a DBMS concept? First, we will discuss about the concept of why do we require the keys in DBMS. So there is a different kind of tables are there. First one, student table, and the second one is person table. In a student table, there is many kind of fields are there. That is student ID, student name, student address and student course. Then the second table, person table. In the table it includes name of the student, date of birth of the student, passport number, license number, then social security number. So these are all the different types of fields are available. So in the fields are segregated in the table in a column wise, and the data are stored in the row wise. So the data are stored in row concept, then the fields are stored in ID, name, address likewise. So how the keys are setting in the table means, first unique representation of the student. So unique representation of the student means student ID. For example, Arun is also there and Arun S is also there. So there is a two different kind of initials in same name, but the ID is 001 and 002. So there is a different kind of IDs. So it is called as unique representation. In a table, unique representation is called as keys. So we are setting the keys in uniquely representation. So the unique representation, it is also helpful represent to other table. In a second table, person table. In the person table, name, date of birth, passport number, license number, social security number also available. So in the passport number is a unique representation, and the license number and social security number, likewise Aadhaar number, is a unique representation. It represented to the student. So these are all the unique representation. So this unique representation is also set in a DBMS is a key. So there is a many different type of keys are available. Based on the requirement, we have to give a priority. What are the keys are we can give in the table. So that is a concept of DBMS. Next we will move on the what are the different types of keys in DBMS. So there is a 7 different kind of keys are there. So these keys are very important to connect one table to another table. So that would be helpful to fetching all the data in the table. So first one, primary key, candidate key, super key, foreign key, alternative key, composite key and the artificial key. So these are all the keys. We are opening the database, and what are the fields or what are the columns or what are the rows or tuples we need. So that kind of information we can get from the database. So this is an overall introduction about the keys. Next we will see about the concept of primary key. So how we are using the primary key? This is the first key of representing and relationship between the tables. First, how we identify the primary key in a table. So in the table, it's an employee table. In the employee table, it includes some different kind of fields. Employee ID, employee name, employee address, passport number, license number, SSN likewise. So these are all the fields. So in the fields is represented in table is a column wise. So column wise are representing in the employee ID. So the employee ID is a unique representation. So each employee have a each employee ID. So using the ID we can get all other details. Likewise, if you are entering employee ID 001 means the 001 details will appear throughout the values in the table format. So this is called as a primary key. So it is a unique representation of the table. In a single table we are representing unique ID, that is called as primary key. So how we are give a primary key in a table format, that means SQL query format. In the SQL query format, using create table, table name is employee, this is the employee is a table name. Then within the open parenthesis we can give all type of column names or field names. First we can give employee ID. So already we see the concept of primary key. So the employee ID is a unique representation, so that we can give a primary key of the employee table is a employee ID. The employee ID, that is data type of integer, then not null. So the not null is nothing but duplicate values. Duplicate values are not included in the table, so that we can give a not null value. That is a 0 values will be appeared in the same table. So if you are not giving some of the fields means they will appear 0 value. Then we can give a value of primary key. So this word is called as unique representation of employee ID. Then employee name, that's also called as varchar. Then the text values are available. Then this also not null character. So the not null character, the duplicate values or not null values are not appear. So then employee address also used the same varchar value. So these are all the main concept of primary key setting in SQL query. So this is a major part of all DBMS database table creation. Next we will discuss about the concept of candidate key. This is a second key of the key concept. In the candidate key, it's also included in the primary key concept. So in the primary key, employee ID is a primary key. It is a unique representation of the table. Same as in the table, it includes passport number, license number, SSN number. So these three things also unique representation. So the candidate key, it support for the primary key. So that is a very important concept. The candidate key, it will be supported to the primary key. The primary key, it's linked to the all table, and the candidate key, it reference to the primary key. So the tuple values, the tuple means rows, each and every rows and attributes will appear in the candidate key. So in the candidate key, we may not give a key concept, but you can give in a table primary key and also the candidate key supported to the primary key. So the primary key is very important in the candidate key. This passport number and the license number and the SSS number is called as candidate key. In the candidate key, it represents as a primary key supporting processing method. So in the candidate key, how we are inserting in the query concept means create table, employees table. In the employee table, we already give a primary key. So in each and every tables, each and every in query processing method, we can give only the two key. We can mention only the two key, that is the primary key and the foreign key. All otherwise, many keys, unique identification keys are refer using these two kind of keys, that is primary key and foreign key. So in the query, it represents only the primary key. But in the passport number, license number, SSS number, we can give only the integer, not null value. So duplicate values are not accepted, not null values are there. In the primary key is also refers to the same concept of passport number, license number, social security number. So these three concept is supported to the primary key. So this is a candidate of this table. So is called as candidate table. Next, the third concept is a super key. The super key, it is an attribute set that can be uniquely identified in the tuple. So each and every rows, it's uniquely identified. The one row is represented to another row, then the other row is represented to other rows. The super key is a superset of candidate key. The candidate key also represent as primary key. The super key is also represent as candidate key. The candidate key must be used in the super key concept. The employee ID is a primary key in the table, means the employee ID is refers to the another attribute of employee name and employee address. For example, employee ID 001. In the 001, it's mainly represented to Arun N. The Arun N is an employee name. The same will represent as employee address. Each and every attributes, it's related to the employee ID. The base concept is primary key. After the primary key, we represent the super key. The super key is a concordinate with between the two attribute concepts. So in the example, the employee ID, it's related to the relationship between the employee name as well as the employee name. Employee ID is also give the name of employee, and the employee ID is give the number of social security, and the employee ID give the number of passport number. If we are giving 001 means they are giving different kind of concept in the attribute values. The tuple is very important in the super key. So we are acting the attributes in the table, means we can give a super key. So that may not be give a super key concept in a SQL query. The super key is also refers to the candidate key. So the super key concept, it refers many different kind of columns. Next, the concept of foreign key. So foreign key is an important concept in the table reference and relationship between the table. The primary key is refers to another table primary key is called as foreign key. That will be helpful to a column of the table used to point to the primary key of another table. So one table unique representation is refers to another table unique representation is called as foreign key. So in the employees table and the department details tables are there. So each and every employee had a unique identification of employee ID, and the employee is worked in only one department, not in multiple department in a concern. So that employee ID is refers to the department ID. In the department ID, the employee ID is a primary key. In the primary key, it's supported to all the attributes: employee name, employee address, passport number, SSN number, and department ID. The department ID is refers to another table department details. So in the department detail, it's include throughout the organization faculty details and department details are there. So in the table value is refers to the another table unique representation. So in in the department details, unique representation is department ID. So in the department ID is refers to another department details unique representation is called as foreign key. So in the concern, all the details, all the fields are allocated to the department ID. So we can get the details from one person, department details. So we can give a relationship between one table to another table. So these relation we can get information from one table to another table. So that is the main concept of foreign key. So primary key and foreign key is a major role in SQL concept. So this is one of the create table in employee details. In the employee details we can also give employee ID is a primary key in one table, then another table foreign key, that is a department ID. So also in the department details table we can give a primary key, but the primary key employee ID is refers to the department ID to the foreign key. So the reference to the department details is called as foreign key. So this is the type of concept we can give a SQL query related between one table to another table. So that is a foreign key concept. It's mainly represented to the column relationship. Next we will discuss about the alternate key. The alternate key also called as a secondary key. So in a table, employee ID is a primary key. Already we set a primary key. As well as in the table it includes many different kind of attributes. So in the employee ID it includes a unique another representation is SSN, social security number. So in the social security number is a alternative key for the primary key. So this primary key and alternative key, it's same as in your candidate key. So already we know about the candidate key, the primary key and the alternative key, it's related between the table. So these two concepts is represent as candidate key. So this alternative key is a secondary key of the table. Afterwards, there may be one or more attributes and combination of attributes that uniquely identify each tuples in the relation, each rows in the relations in every attributes. That is called as alternative key. Next, we will move the concept of composite key. The composite key is called as a candidate key. The candidate key, the primary key, consists of more than one attributes. The primary key, it consists employee name, employee address, passport number. So more than one attributes in a table, that is a composite key. The composite key is combination of all other rows and all other column fields. So that it's called as concatenated key. Next we will move the concept of artificial key concept. The artificial key is nothing but it created using arbitrary assigned data. It's known as artificial key. For example, in every valuation concept, each and every student have an individual register number. But in valuation time, the dummy number will appear in the individual student because the values are appeared in the same register number, but the staff will related to the dummy number. So the staffs don't know what is the student, what are all the register number. So that is called as a artificial key. So the many representations are included in the artificial key. Let us come to the end of the session. I hope all are understand the concept of key in DBMS. Next we will discuss about the relational database concepts in DBMS. Thank you.